What's up, family and friend? It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you another edition of this Motivational Monday. I am so excited to be here with you all the first Monday of this new year, 2022. For all my replayers, please give me about a minute and a half as I share this out to my top 5 people. And I'm see the eyes coming on. Holla at your boy. Let me know you're out there. Hope your year's gotten off to a fabulous start. And if you're out there, please share this to your top 5 relationships as well as I share this out. Most time the volume is comes on. I do this. Turn the volume down. Hey, Ivaniqua, future DON. Thank you for joining us. I'm seeing the eyes add up pretty quick tonight. Who else is out there? Holla at your boy. Hey, Mom, thank you for joining us tonight. If y'all would, please share this to your top 5 relationships. Y'all know the saying. If they can't grow with you, they can't go with you. So let's keep them in the circle. I'm going to share this out to my top 5 real quick. Hey, cuz. Hey, Gene. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to share this out to my people real quick. I got to get it to my top 5. If I send it to you, that means you're somebody in that top 5. Let's get to it. Please, if you would. Hey, hey, sis, thanks for joining us. If y'all would, go ahead and shoot this to your top 5. We're already up past 10 names in the first, really, minute and a half. Tonight's going to be a good one. Episode 117 of Awaken Your I Am. This one's going to be phenomenal. So please go ahead and get this out to your top relationships. Let them know, hey, man, if you want to go with me, you got to grow with me. And we need more people in our circle that think like mine, almost like the book says, let's not be unequally yoked. And the best way to make sure that we're equally yoked is by making sure that all of our people get the same information and apply it to their life to change their lives for the better. Give me about, all my replayers, give me about 30 more seconds. I see you out there, YouTube. I see you out there. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Give me 15 more seconds. All right. Let's get away and send that out there. Hey, Angelique, thank you for joining us tonight. It means so much to have so many of you all on here, man. And for the people that show up on a consistent basis, I believe there's a special place in heaven for the hungry. And I know right now the eyes that are looking at me, hey, man, we got double-digit eyes. If you're out there, shout out your boy. What's up out there? You don't go to people's house and not say, hey, and speak. So y'all hop in the room, man. Shout out, say something to your boy. All right. Episode 117, Awaken Your I Am. Tonight, I want to talk about bet on your I am. Bet on your awakened I am. You know, when I think about it, I kind of, hey, Pat, thank you for joining us. When I kind of set out, I gave y'all a little 5-minute teaser about 2 days ago about betting on you. And when I think about betting on you, I had an opportunity to go see Spider-Man, and I do watch some of the Marvel videos and how people place their trust and all of their hopes into the Avengers or into Spider-Man or into somebody else to come and save the day for all of humanity. I love watching the fact that because those people have discovered what their true superpowers are, that it gives them another level of confidence to be able to walk in what they believe is true. Believe you me. It's not that Captain America is just Captain America. Hey, Lisa, thank you for joining us. It's that he has his shield and that he's gone through a process that has proved his armor. And so it's proved his armor so much so that he could go against some of the roughest and toughest people in the world and still have the confidence to overcome. Hey, Tashana, thank you for joining us tonight. And have the confidence to still go and overcome those people. Tonight, I want to talk about bet on your I am. It's so easy for us to bet on Bill Gates. It's so easy for us to bet on Jeff Bezos because we've seen the process of which they've done. It's so easy for us to buy stock. Hey, Barbara, thank you for joining us. It's so easy for us to go buy stock in Apple because we know that Stephen Jobs has left a sound company. It's so easy for us to go and buy AbbVie because of the big dividend, because we know what they're left. So it's easier for us to go down to our job and punch that time clock to whatever. Hey, Elkie, thanks for joining us. To whatever company that we work at. It's so easy to go punch that time clock because it's so easy for me to bet on my bosses and on the companies I am than I am on my I am. Trust me, I'm going somewhere today. It's so much easier for me to believe that I am more stable with somebody else at the helm or at the head than I am being at the head of my own business or my own corporation or me doing my own thing. It makes me feel so much more secure knowing that it's somebody at the helm that I perceive that have an idea of what they're doing. Come on, man. Y'all holler at your boy. Tonight, I want to talk about betting on your I am. So it's easy for us to take all of our money and place it on the name that is on the door that we walk into that pays us per hour to build that company or to build that organization for their well-being. And for us building it, they give us, a set amount of money per hour, or it gives us a rate of which they say, okay, at this time, your value to us is XYZ. So they give us X, Y, and Z, and we continue to bet on their I am. When we're talking about betting, right now the Georgia Lotto is, I don't know what it is. It's some astronomical number where people are stopping at the gas station, driving from Alabama, driving from neighboring states to come buy the Georgia Lotto because it's so easy to bet on Powerball. I bet that if I go play, which is, to me, is asinine because Powerball wouldn't be so much if people were winning Powerball hand over fist. The reason why the number is so colossal is because there's nobody winning. When nobody wins, the number continues to multiply because most people put in the pool believing that they're going to win the lottery, and the majority of them end up broke or end up in the same situation they were in yesterday because nothing changes. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Reset Teacher, Reset Coach. Thank you for joining us today. And most of them end up in the same situation. Why? Because it's so much easier for me to bet on Moneyball than it is to bet on your I am. See, tonight I came to break bread. Because for a long time, that was my thinking. And for the majority of these Motivational Mondays, a lot of these Motivational Mondays are about you, yes, but they're mainly about me and how I have to overcome my mindset. Yep, come on, man, I'm breaking bread up in here tonight. And they're more so about how we have to overcome what we know in order to get to where we want to go. And that's why I'm sitting here tonight, and I'm going to challenge you before the end of this Motivational Monday to bet on your I am. When I talk about bet, and I got the definition from the dictionary, in which I believe the definition from the dictionary is limited. Now, who am I to question Merriam-Webster, you say, right? Like motivational teacher, you don't have a dictionary. You don't, this ain't what you do. Who are you to question Merriam-Webster? Who created the dictionary? I'm going to tell you who I am. I got an Awaken I am. And I'm going to talk to you why I feel so confident in who I am to challenge Merriam-Webster. That's bread breaking right there. I love it when y'all speak to each other. I mean, we're a community, man. I love the interaction going on in the chat box right now. We are a community of people waging war on mediocrity. I love when we interact that way. There's so many people out there that wants to see us fail, that it's nice to see people or be in an environment where people want to see me succeed, where they generally have nothing to gain from my success or my failure, but they want me to succeed because your success is our success. Man, I love that community. So that word bet, which I think is limited, an act of risking a sum of money on the outcome of a future event. So in the terms of Merriam-Webster, if I go to the slot machine in Vegas and I play quarters, I don't know about slot machines, or I go to blackjack and I put money down, I'm risking $10 in the hopes that I can win, $100 or $1,000. So the sum that I'm giving up today is the lesser of what I believe I can gain. But I think when you use that term bet, I think Merriam-Webster is limited because life is a game. Life in itself is a game, and I will share more examples of why it is a game. So when I say bet on you, bet on your awakened I am, it's the great I am that awakens our I am, episode 117. Awaken your I am. Bet on your I am. When I say bet on your I am, when I use that term, I'm saying give up something of lesser value to attain something of greater value. Come on, man. Give up something today of lesser value to gain something of greater value, to give up the lesser to obtain the greater. When I say betting on yourself, I mean showing up and being visible for you. Showing up and being visible for you. And I think that's the challenge for a lot of us. Hey, what's up, Keith? Thank you for joining us, bro. Man, it's all good on this side, bro. We're learning, we're growing, and we're getting from glory to glory. Whether it's a setback or a setup, it doesn't matter. We're getting better every day. We talked about it last week. We got to embrace that 1%. Betting on yourself means that you're showing up and you're getting visible for yourself. Betting on yourself meaning it says that I am worth the 1% improvement that I have to have today. Because I know that if I get compounding results of the 1% that I talked about last week, I'll eventually get where I want to go. It may not be how I expect to get there or in the time frame that I expect it to get there. However, if I continue to show up for myself 1% at a time, every day, 1% better, every day, eventually I will get to where I want to go. You are your best investment. No one, come on, Keith, no one ever makes an investment without wanting to make a withdrawal. But I believe subconsciously we've been whipped into shape to believe that this world's economy is our best investment. I believe that we've been conditioned to think that my job is my best investment. Here we go, real deal. I think some of us has even been convinced to believe that our religion is our best investment. Some of us have been so traumatized by religion or so traumatized by our environment that we don't see ourselves worthy of betting on. Well, I bet on my boss before I go bet on me. Let me tell you something about this. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing more. Come on, real talk. There's no greater bet on anything out there other than your awakened I am. The beautiful thing that I love about the great I am is that he's awakened all of our I ams to something unique and something special that I am supposed to show up to and be visible. Come on, man. There's nobody out there that can beat me at being me. Oh, I just broke bread. I'm telling you right now, I'm getting to the point right now, and I know this is going to sound crazy. I'm getting to the point where I can read the dictionary and say Merriam-Webster, now that's real confidence, should expand its definition of bet. Now that's crazy right there. Now that's once you start getting to that level where you've invested so many 1%, you gain a level of confidence that the world didn't give it. And like the old song used to say, the world can't take it away. I just broke bread. Showing up and getting visible. Come on, Devon. Showing up and being visible for yourself. I'm going to get into a little bit more detail, but I got to get you to understand. Come on, growth. I got to get you to understand that I got to show up and I got to be visible for myself. Everything that I want to attain and everything that I want from my awaken I am hangs on the position that every day I got 1% I got to improve. I got 1% I got to improve. Come on, man. You got to bet on your uniqueness. You got to bet on you. It's like no one is going to knock on your door with a massive amount of success. Hang it up. Egg McMahon is a myth. Powerball is a myth. For most of us, our children saving a day is a myth for most of us. And I'm telling you that if a massive amount of success was so simple that it just showed up at your door, then we will all be so massive successful that we wouldn't have to sit here and listen to this Motivational Monday. The reason why the majority of the people in this world die without manufacturing their potential is because it requires that we show up and be visible for ourselves. I remember I did a speaking engagement about 3 years ago. Man, it's crazy how this stuff come back to me in the middle of a message. I did a speaking engagement 3 years ago, and it was to a group of individuals that didn't see their job as being very important. Hey, what's up? What's up, Ryan? Appreciate you popping on, bro. So I went over this deathbed research. They did a research with 100 people in a hospice that were in hospice that were on deathbed research. And they were asking them questions. What did they regret over the course of their life? And the thing that most of them did not regret was making more money. They did not regret they did not have more things. They regretted that I didn't do more to impact the world. And they regretted that I didn't spend more time with my loved ones. Basically, what they said is I spent more time chasing dollars and cents and doing other things. And I did not spend time betting on me to create an environment where I could be with my loved ones more and I could do the things that I believe God has placed on the inside of me. Those were people at a hospice facility on their deathbed. They didn't regret not watching Love and Hip Hop. They didn't regret not driving Bentleys or living over there in the estates behind the fence. They did not regret those things. They regretted not maximizing their life and not being able to spend more time with the people they love. And you and I have an opportunity right now when we're in the best health of our life to be able to show up for ourselves and be visible for ourselves and make a conscious, intentional, deliberate decision that I'm improving 1% per day. No matter what goes on today, I made that commitment to myself. And in order for me to bet on me, my confidence is going to come from my growth and my development in what the great I am has called me to do. The reason why a lot of people don't have confidence to bet on themselves because they haven't put the time to grow and develop. They honestly understand where they are mentally at this place in time. And well, this right here is not a good bet. I have not done any work. I have not been sowing seeds to get a maximum return. I have not. In the moment, I'm telling you, the reason why I can speak with so much conviction and confidence is because I've done the work. And now that I've been doing the work, I'm starting to see some results. I haven't seen the results that I eventually want to see. But I would say, like I told somebody earlier, like every day is a journey. It ain't been perfect. Every day hasn't been great like today. I had to make a conscious, deliberate decision this morning to get up and go to the gym and show up. Like, I don't know if I strained something in my shoulder. I don't know what, maybe it was how I slept last night or whatever the problem was. My shoulder was aching me this morning when I woke up. I had to be deliberate in my 1%. And I said, Anthony, I am going to be I want y'all to catch this. I'm going to be a person that shows up. Although my shoulder hurts, and I can't do what I wanted to do, I am going to the gym and I'm going to do what I can do because I want to show up for me. I know every day is not going to be a day of comfort. I know every day is not going to be filled with milk and honey, but I had to show up and I got up and I went to the gym, and the more I worked the shoulder out, the better it started to feel. And part of the challenge is I got to show up and be visible for me. Come on, man. Come on, man. The more days you show up, whether it's in good times or in bad times, the more days you show up, it gives you the confidence to believe in your awakened I am. Oh, yeah, I'm bread breaking today. And if y'all haven't, go ahead and, hey, cuz, thank you for joining us, Lydia. Go ahead and put your top 5 relationships in that chat box. Go ahead and let them know I'm only inviting you because I love you. I'm inviting you because I'm going somewhere in my life, and that if you don't get this information, eventually I'm going to have to leave you behind. Come on, I'm getting out, get my 5-mile walk run. That's what I'm talking about. And every morning, the artist, I love calling y'all by how I see y'all. And every morning ain't going to be perfect. It's going to be some morning where it's raining. It's going to be some days where it's cold. It's going to be some days where you sore from the day before. But nonetheless, I'm going out there. And if it takes me 2 days, if it takes me 45 minutes longer than it took me 3 days ago, I'm going out there and I'm getting in the habit of showing up for myself. Yeah. No one is going to knock on your door with massive amounts of success. You have to put in the work and go find the people that you need to solve their problem. What's up, big cuz? What's up, Said? Rough days don't last, tough days don't last forever, but tough people do. And I gotta break bread with you. On this journey, you're gonna have some days where you're gonna feel like quitting. And I want you to tell yourself it's okay for me to have those days. It's natural for me to have days where I want to give up. It's natural to have days when I want to quit. It's natural to have days when I honestly self-doubt. It's natural to have days when I wonder, is it worth all of this? Like being talked about and being ostracized, being put on the outside by your family, being talked about by, people talking about you at your job, being talked about at your job. Like sometimes you're going to have days to say, man, I wonder if this investment is worth the withdrawal. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay. And I want you to give yourself permission to have those days. I want you to give yourself permission to have days where it's not going to feel real good. It's not going to look real good. Give yourself permission to have those days. But like the future DON just said, I'm going to still put in, I'm from Alabama right now, I'm from the country. I'm going to still do my 1%. Ladies and gentlemen, we learn more in lean times than we do in fat times. We learn more about when times are lean, when we're barely making it. And I remember I can always talk about my life when we barely had enough, when we just made it, but I almost gave up. But God, I remember those moments more so than I remember when I had an abundance or where I had more than enough. I remember the moments where I sow into other people's lives more than I remember purchases that I buy, because those things mean much more to me than the little things, than the things that have been accumulated over time. Why? Because those are the things that outlast us. But thanks be to God to have the mind to not quit. And I'm going to be honest sometimes, Lydia, not quitting just means that I push a little hard. I just push. I might not get accomplished what my goals were today, but I'm getting 1% accomplished today. Thank you, Elkie. So if I'm asking you to bet on yourself, if I'm asking you, why don't more people, and this is the $1 million question right here, why don't more people bet on themselves? Why don't more people take more chances with their own lives to have a greater success and greater outcomes than they currently have at this moment of time? Why don't people that got books on the inside of them sit down and begin to write those books versus taking those books back to the grave with them? Why don't people that got beautiful voices, whoa, can sing in choirs? That's not me. Maybe Antoinette Marie or Lady Queen I Am. They might have that piece. I don't have that piece. Why is it that people that have voices like angels, why don't they use that gift? A lot of people that bet the best gifts at your church are sitting in the pews. I guarantee you that the best voices are lying dormant and they're not even singing anywhere. Or the people, or some people, you got a gift with that music. I can play it by ear. Why don't people take chances and develop that gift? I'm telling you right now, I'm sitting on here doing this talking, but it's some of y'all that can do this at this level or higher. Come on, man. If some of y'all can do this at this level and higher, why don't we take the chance to do it? Negative self-talk. Come on, the artist. Negative self-talk. Stump out many people's dreams. Come on. It sure does. Or I say it this way, the artist, their vision of how they see themselves, stumps out their vision of what they can become. Come on, man, get in that chat box, invite your top 5 people, develop your gifts. Hey, Antoinette Marie, thank you for joining us tonight. Come on, man, get in there, get your top 5 people. Why is it that most people are not willing to wage? Oh my God, that's a good one. My tagline is wage war on mediocrity. In order to wage, that means I'm willing to commit something of lesser for something of more. I got to wage war on mediocrity. Why is it that most people aren't willing to wage? Because, can I tell y'all this? And here's a secret that stays between us. The reason why most people are not willing to take all they have and push it to the center of the table and bet, listen to your boy now, listen to your boy. They're not willing to take all they have, push it into the center of the table, and bet on their awakened I am. Bet that the great I am who's awakened my I am is sufficient enough for me to put all my chips in on us. If he be for me, who could be against me? I'm putting all my chips to the center of the table, and I'm betting on the great I am awakening my I am. This is a bread breaking moment right now. Why is it, motivational teacher to the masses, that most people are not willing to make that bet? Let me tell you why. Because a lot of, let me say this, a lot of humans are risk averse. Think about it. A lot of humans are risk averse from birth to the time from birth to the time we exit 12th grade in schools. Our society or our environment, fear, come on, Vaniqua. Our environment has taught us how to stay in line. They've taught us that we're just one of many. They've taught us that the sum, listen to your boy, that the sum of the total is more than just the one. They've taught us, for example, let me give you an example. When you start grade school, they set every one of us in the same type of desk, right? They give every one of us the same type of notebook, the same type of book. They give each one of us the same type of report card at the end of the semester. The teacher stands at the board and teach all of us the same exact way. And then at the end of that 5 or 6 weeks, they give us a standard exam, a standardized test that fits for the whole classroom, and they give us a grade based on how we perform on their standardized test. So from the beginning of our lives, they taught us how to be risk averse, how to fit in, how to look like everybody else. And if you were to do anything outside of the box of what they told us to do, then you were sent to the principal's office or you were told not to do it. Why? Because it was different. Let me ask you all something. Why is it that people like Stephen Jobs and people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, people like that, are unable to get higher levels of education? Because you just said it. They say stay in your lane. They say stay in your lane, do exactly what I tell you to do, and don't get out. And if you think about it, most of us that are reared in middle to low income households, they tell us to go out, get a job, pay your bills, and get a retirement and a 401k. No, they don't tell us to go out and live your dreams. Come on, man. They don't go tell us to go take chances and opportunity to find what lane. I love it. Make a lane for yourself and do what God is giving you to do in your heart. They're only teaching us how to merely live and not how they teach us how to merely exist in this world, trying to make a living. And see, us now, we're moving from living to thriving. And some of us came up with baby boomers. I don't blame baby boomers, because baby boomers were raised from people that came through the Great Depression. And if you came through the Great Depression, you had to make money and you had to make resources last. So baby boomers came with the thought from the Great Depression. And so they got a little bit further down the road from the Great Depression. And now they're telling us, go get your 401k, go get your job, pay your bills, get you a good retirement. And at the end of your life, you get a gold watch. You've done well for yourself. And so they've even taught us how not to even bet on ourselves. They've taught us to bet on your boss, man, to bet on your foreman, to go in that job, to do a great job. I'm not telling you not to do that. Go in that job, do a great job, do what they ask you to do, get your check at the end of the week, come back home, go back and redo it next week, do it for 30 and 40 years. At the end of that, you at least got money so you can retire, get your social insecurity check, which is like $600-700. You got your retirement, which is might be $1,000 to $1,200. You got your $1,900. You go and you live a good life. And that's what the system has been teaching us since day one. So to me, it's no surprise that most of us are risk averse. To me, there's no surprise that most people, like the artist just did, is willing to move across country to try something different. Can't stay in my lane if God created you to make a new one. Come on. I'm not surprised that how many of us see risk as real danger. And I got to be careful of this because I grew up in a household where I grew up with a family where we barely had enough. And it was cool. We barely had enough. You know, my dad was in and out of prison. We barely had enough. We had to make it. And so I had to learn how to transform. That's why, to me, there's nobody better to sit on any side of this camera, on the other side of this camera, to talk about betting on yourself than your boy right here. They teach us how to live a mediocre life. And I'm telling you, if you're going to change that system of poverty or that system of mediocrity that the world has placed us in, you're going to have to learn how to take some form of risk. I'm breaking bread right now. Y'all better get y'all top 5 on here. I'm breaking bread right here. Risk is exposure to someone or something valued to have danger, harm, or loss. Come on, mindset, Gene. I'm with you. So risk is someone or something valued to have danger, harm, or loss. And here's the confusion for a lot of us. As many times that we think risk as real danger. And Antoinette Marie, you can back me up on this one. I know you're on here. We see risk as harm or danger. When you're investing in stocks, or you're investing, let's take stocks. When you're investing in stocks, Apple is a real good play, and you're gonna make real good, consistent money on Apple. But if you had made an investment on Sava, which was a startup company right before COVID, if you had invested money in Sava has grown and multiplied, 100 to 200 times. It was a lot riskier play, but the top side was a lot more, because the higher the risk, the higher the reward. Apple's a pretty safe place. Apple's going to do well no matter what. So the higher the risk, the more the reward. All right. The lower the risk, the more you minimize the top side, you minimize the bottom side. All right. And so a lot of us has really not even come to see risk in that light. Most of us have come to see risk as something of danger or something to be avoided. We've seen risk as something of danger or something to be avoided. And in order for us to walk into our promised land filled with milk and honey in 2022 and beyond, we got to start seeing risk differently. We got to start seeing risk differently. Most of the things that we perceive as risk are only given that evaluation because of the discomfort that it causes. Most of us look at this risk and say, man, I'm so scared, I'm so nervous because of the discomfort that it might bring. But we only tend to value the downside, because when you're taught to fit in society or to fit in what we call these socioeconomic classes, there are ways that you're supposed to think. And if you think anything different than your circle, that's why I told you to invite your top 5. If you think any differently than your circle, or if you think any differently than the people that so-called see themselves like you, then they automatically try to talk you out of the risk. Well, why you think it takes so much? Well, why you think you want to invest that? Well, why is this not good enough for you anymore? What happened to make you want to do that now? And so immediately they begin to talk you out of what you know is outside of your comfort zone. It may cause some discomfort, but it is pushing you towards something greater. And the moment we start talking to risk-averse people, they try to put us back. Come on, I'm going to use Angelique's word. They try to put us back in our lane. Come on, man. They try to put us back in our lane. But if we're ever going to do anything of value, we got to be willing to take some risks. The temporary loss of familiar is more bark than bite. Check your boy out. The temporary loss of familiar is more bark than bite. The most troubling thing for a human being, is to walk away from what they know to go into the unknown. I know God, we are marvelous. We are fearfully and wonderfully created. And God created this body it's uniquely and it's wonderfully made. Don't get me wrong. God put mechanisms in place, like we got our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nervous systems, that when danger When danger kicks in, that's real danger. If somebody's standing in front of me with a gun, that's real danger. My body goes to fight or flight, and all the blood goes out a lot of my main organs and out of my main limbs to do what's necessary for me to live at this moment. That's called fight or flight. And our parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, and we're able to do more than what we could have done. Have you ever heard somebody running so fast to catch the baby before it falls? Or somebody having to move a car before, all they had a nudge of an inch or two to move it off a person. Have you ever heard somebody saying that I was able to do those things? Their parasympathetic nervous system kicked in, and it forced all the blood and oxygen to the part of the body that needed to produce the action. Our body is fearfully and wonderfully made, but that's in the face of danger. Now, the challenge with a lot of us is that we've learned that risk from our environment. We've learned from our environment that risk is inherently bad. We've learned it from our environment. And when we begin, I appreciate that Rod, proactive. I appreciate that when we start to see areas of our lives where they're starting to move out of our comfort zone. See, right now, some of you all are in the process of doing something more than what your environment thought you was capable of doing. Some of you are in this community that increases your confidence. Come on, man. Some of you are doing things right now that you now got your wheels to turning in your mind, in your brain. I could do more. I could have more. I could be more. You got all that stuff going on in your brain. And then there's some right now that where when you start having those thoughts, fear kicks in. And our body will sometimes misunderstand that fear for danger. Our body will sometimes misunderstand that fear for danger, and we begin to make decisions from our lives from danger and not faith. We start believing, we start fearing that all the worst that can happen. Oh, what if I lose my money? What if I lose this? And what if I have to live on beans and rice and beans? What if I have to do this? What if I have to do that? And we start to think, and we see ourselves that I'm giving it all up with no top side. I'm telling you right now, and I'm challenging you all, I was the same way. I was the same way until I got laid off my job. Once I used to think I had a six-figure job. Maybe it wasn't six-figure at the time, but it became that. I had a company credit card. I had a company car. And I thought, man, I'm on top of the world. And you have completely made it to the top of the food chain. Man, if my dad, who had passed away, could see me now, if my granddad that worked to his hands, you shake my granddad's hands, y'all know I'm telling the truth, his hands would scratch you. Your hand might start bleeding from the subconscious instead of the conscious. Come on, Keith. Come on. Thank you, Elka. You shake my granddad's hands, your hand. If my granddad could see where I am at this moment of time, until they made a call on a Friday afternoon about 12 o'clock and said, Mr. Williams, we have decided to downsize the company. Your position has been eliminated. We're coming to get our car. You can mail us our credit card, give us back our gas card, all those things. And I thought I had it until I didn't have it. And I thought I had made it. And then I start subconsciously understanding that God is my source. And whatever God chooses to bless me is a resource. But I understand that I am, oh my God, that's powerful, my greatest resource. The great I am my greatest resource. I am my highest earning potential. I'm telling you, man, I am is your greatest resource. Man, when God made a promise and he found nothing else to swear by, he swore by the greatest thing he could. And he said, I am that I swear by my own, I am Abraham, that I will bless you. When he couldn't find anything else to swear by, he swore by himself. So I'm saying, if you're not willing to take a risk aversion out on yourself and bet on you, bet on the great I am that lives and works in and through you. Oh, that's a bread-breaking moment right there. I understand being a little risk averse on me because, I've made mistakes. I've fallen 7, 8 times. I got up 9. I've made bad decisions. I've hurt people along the way. I understand some of us don't want to bet on us, but I'm asking you to bet on the great I am, awakening your I am. I'm asking you sometimes that in order for you to get from where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow, you're going to have to go through some risk. You're going to have to go down some, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. It's only a shadow. Risk is only a shadow. Risk, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear evil. I'm just so afraid to go and go down there and I got $400 in my savings account. I'm so afraid to go put $250 down to get my business license. Why? If $400 can't solve all your problems, that $400 was never meant to be your harvest. It was always meant to be your seed. Bread breaking moment. Boy, I can make a commercial out of that. If you got $400 in your checking account or in your savings account, and that $400 is not sufficient to meet your need, then that $400 is a seed and not your harvest. Stop holding on to it. And I'm challenging you to make some decisions. You got to make some decisions right here today. That I got to bet on the great I am awakening I got to bet that the God that lives on the inside of me is more than enough, baby. I'm okay betting on me because when I'm betting on me, I'm betting on him working in and through me. And I think, see, this is what I think is really going on in this world. I said that temporary loss of the familiar is more bark than bite. It's a lot of people that stay in negative relationships because they are afraid of the unfamiliar. I know this relationship isn't healthy, but I stay in this relationship because it's what I know. Some of us stay on jobs that we know we've outgrown for years, but we stay on those jobs because it is what I know. Some of us have been married. Honestly, I'm the bread breaker. Some of us have been in a bad marriage for 15, 20 years of a relationship that I know I cannot grow, but we stay there because it's familiar. Some of us, I'm the bread breaker. Some of us we got businesses on the inside of us that we have yet to start because we are afraid of the unknown. Some of us got companies and nonprofit organizations. Some of us got books. Some of us got car lots. We got hospitals. We got stuff overseas that we could be building on the inside of us, but yet we do not act on it because we are afraid of the unknown. What if I fail? What if I don't make it? Let's go ahead and dispel all the what ifs, and somebody gonna be glad that they hung around here. I want you to give people permission to laugh at you. Give people permission to laugh at you. It's okay that you laugh at me, that I call myself the motivational teacher to the masses and you got 24 eyes. Go ahead and laugh. It's okay that I show up every Monday prepared to the T with my notes and all this, and we still, you ain't got the masses. It's okay to go laugh. Ha, ha, ha. You got permission to laugh at me. Go ahead. Well, you put all your money in that business and it didn't work. You got permission to laugh that it didn't work. Go ahead and let yourself out of people prison, because people prison paralyzed. Boy, let's say that, a tongue twister. People prison paralyzes us from becoming the best version of ourselves. Go ahead and let yourself out. Laugh at me that I show up and I do my business. I've been doing it 5 years and I'm yet to net a profit. Go ahead. You spend all your time doing that and you yet to get in. You've been tithing and you've been offering your whole life and you yet to get anything. Go ahead and laugh at me. You've been showing up to these motivational Mondays. You've been going to watch this person. You've been here and nothing happened for you yet. You got permission to go ahead and laugh, because my success is not rooted in what you think about me. Go ahead and give yourself permission to have some setbacks. Yep. Go ahead, man. Listen, man, I got to detach. Oh my God, this is a bread breaking moment. I have to detach who I am from what my results are. I have to detach who I am. I have to detach my awakened I am. And that's why man, Jesus was phenomenal. That's why he asked them, who do men say I am? Oh, that's an awesome statement. He said, who do men say I am? Because when I was raising the dead, they said, what kind of spirit? Does Satan do this versus Satan? They didn't know who he was. And he knew they had a controversy out there based on who he was. And he only asked that question so he can hear more of the controversy. Who do men say I am? They said, some say you're Elias. Some say you did. Some say you that. He said, they got permission to believe what they want to believe, but it does not hinder my vision from coming to pass. I came to save this doggone world, and I ain't going to leave here until I save this doggone world. And the challenge for most of us is that risk aversion has paralyzed the middle to lower class. One man's opinion must never stop reality. The naysayers, the dream stealers, wow, come on, get in that chat box. Setbacks are just for experience. Take what you learn, grow, and go and try again. Come on, amen. Risk aversion, listen to your boy. See, this is stuff that a lot of people won't tell everybody. Because part of most people's success, I'm going to tell the truth right here. Part of most people's success is you being able to work for them. Part of a lot of people's success depending on you just submitting your awakened I am to their I am. What's up, Q? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing for a season, but you were never meant to do that for your whole life. Let me break bread. Risk aversion paralyzed the lower and middle class. Most high net worth individuals have gone bankrupt 3 to 4 times. Jeff Bezos tried 3 different companies before he got to Amazon. Tried 3 different companies. Like Elke said earlier, Jeff Bezos saw a failure as a chance to learn, to start something, and to come back new. The company before Amazon was just like Amazon, but he did not have success with it. He had to go back, file bankruptcy, tweak it, and bring it back again. We look at those people. We look at high net worth people, and we look at people that have a whole lot, that's got a lot of business. We look at them like they're someone who was just born differently. And they came out different than us. I'm telling you, they're no different. And I'll be honest, a lot of y'all got a lot more wits and intelligence than a lot of them do. But the challenge is they're willing to take the risk. They're willing to say, okay, I can learn from this and I can learn from that. And they're willing to take the hits and keep on moving. But for us, some of us have been taught we better keep that 8 to 5. We better get that gold watch. We better get that 401k, keep them health benefits. And you go into that job for the next 40 years and get your gold watch and you come out. With $1,700 a month, you have done well for the course of your whole life. And people that are wealthy that are independently wealthy, do not live by those same set of rules. They do not live by those same set of rules. In order to bet on yourself, you are going to have to incur some form of risk. I gotta break bread. You're going to have to incur some form of risk. Listen, man, if you're only, oh my God, it's a breaking moment. If your lot in life is to only work for dollars per hour, you'll never get to your wealthy place. You can do a whole lot of good for this world. And if your gifts and your talent is only meant to impact the world, I'm cool with it. That's why I say I can't judge what another person does or what their decisions in their life, because I don't know how the great I am has awakened their I am. My cousin Jean is on here, and I think my Aunt Betty, she took care of just about all the babies in our little small town. My Aunt Betty never had a whole lot of money, but when she passed away, it was people wrapped around the church. Why? Because she served her gift. And that's why I'm telling you that for a lot of us, it's not about dollars and cents. But I got to challenge you with your thinking that if your goal is to only see yourself as dollars per hour, meaning I'm going to work I'm going to work for $17 an hour, then ladies and gentlemen, you're going to always be under somebody else's thumb. You're going to always be underneath somebody else's authority. Somebody else going to always control what you do and who your I am. Now, I'm saying there's nothing wrong with doing that for a season if that's what you choose to do. There's nothing wrong with doing that to learn and to grow. But at some point, you got to say that I got to move beyond charge my dollars for time, that I got to incur some, because there's no risk. There's no risk involved when they pay me $17 an hour. There's no risk on my behalf if I go in that place and I'm there 60 minutes, I get my $17. The inherent risk is on the person that carries the contract. That's probably making the majority amount of the money. And the same thing that a lot of us are doing for other people, we can take that same skill set, do it for ourselves, and double and triple our income and have more control over our time. The thing that is always ticking and always remind me is the clock. It's the clock. The clock is ticking. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. I'm not saying that for you to fear the clock, but I'm saying that so you can get moving in the direction you've been created to go. How long will you sit back and your seat up being comfortable? It's about living out our greatest glory, the life that God designed us for. That's the life we should all be, like Angelique just said, that's the life that we should all be gunning for. That life where we live life without limits, where we're not living life with brakes on. I heard Les Brown say that a lot of people die at 25 and then get buried at 65 or 70 when they actually die. They've given up on their goals and their dreams. They're giving up on what God has given them at 25, and they're merely existing until they put in a dirt box, until they put in a box and go back to the dirt from whence they came. Ladies and gentlemen, you are more than this dirt suit. You are more than what you just see in the mirror. Most people are so afraid of losing that they never try to win. Oh, what a sad testimony when you get before the gates of heaven and he say, hey, person, I gave you 3 talents and you only brought me back the 3 that I gave you. Depart from me, you worker of iniquity. You took what I gave you and you did nothing to multiply it. You took what I gave you and you were a thief and a robber your whole life because you did nothing to benefit mankind with the gifts and talents. You did nothing to develop what I already gave you. I love that when they were looking for Jesus between 12 and 30, he was somewhere in the temple developing himself. And when he came out at 30, it took him 3 years to do what he needed to do. And that's why I'm trying to tell you, you think it's about time. Well, I just need a little. You don't need a little bit more time. You need to take more intention about your actions. You don't need more time. You need more intentions with your actions. It took Jesus 3 years to do what he needed to do. From 12 to 30, he was finding himself. He found himself. It took him 3 years to do everything that God had called him to do. And we sit here talking about, oh, I need more time. You don't need more time. You need more intention with your actions. Most people are so afraid of losing that they never try to win. Oh, what a sad statement. That I'm 45, 55, 60, and I've lived, and I've never given my total self to something in order for me to win at life. A lot of us don't know what it's like to lose because we avoid any situation where losing is possible. We avoid any and every situation where losing, oh, well, that might not work in my favor. Let me not do that because I get it. I better not go do that because if I lose right here, that means I done lost everything. Man, we got to change our mindset as it relates to living, as it relates to risk. We got to begin to start putting up ourselves in life. We got to start betting on me in life. We got to start betting on the great I am on the inside of me in life. Like the funny thing is that there's so many people that believe God can do everything. God is Alpha and Omega. He's the head. And I mean, God is this, and he's the son of, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. We believe in all that stuff. But when it comes to God doing it through you is where we start now believing where it's impossible. But we will say that all things are possible with God, but are all things possible with the God that's on the inside of you? That's a bread-breaking moment. Either you believe or you don't believe. Where is your faith? Where is your faith? It's time to change that mind. It is. It's time to change. It's time to change. Either God can do it or God can't do it. Always cheer for others, never cheer for yourself. Everybody went out and voted for the Obamas. We believe that they can do it. We blah, 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 blah. Everybody and their mama went out and voted. But now it's time for you to vote on you. And you say, I'll wait. I'll try again tomorrow. I'll do it later. No, I need for you to step up to the table. I want you to grab that bat and say, I'm taking my cuts at this plate right now. I sat back. I've ridden shotgun. I've been co-pilot. I've been the bridesmaid enough right now. It's time for me to shine. It's time for the great I am to shine in and through me. I've been the bridesmaids too many times. Oh my God. I've rode co-pilot too many times. Hear about it. Come on. Hear about it. It is my time right now. I'm not going to wait to 2023. I'm not going to wait to 2027. I'm not going to wait to 2033. It is my time right now. God, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to do it right now. I don't care. There are going to be some ups like this morning. My shoulder hurt. I mean, had a little twin. I don't know what was going on with it, but I got to show up. I got to show up with the best version of who I am today. I got to show up. I'm betting on me right now. I can't take days off. You learn more about yourself, and this is an example or analogy. You learn more about yourself when you show up to the gym at 60% of what you could be than if you show up at 100% feeling good. You learn more about yourself in the time at 60% that I showed up no matter what. That I believe so much so in my awaken I am that I don't care about the pain, or I don't care about what it takes, what I got to give up to get there. I only care about the results over the period of time, man. I gotta show up for me. My children's children are dependent on me to show up. My children's children are dependent upon me to show up. I can't keep lying, being in a stupor. I can't keep being slumbering and being awake when I got generations riding on my shoulders right now. I gotta show up. I can't take days off. I gotta show up. 2027 roll around, 2032 roll around, 2045 roll around, and we're still sitting around. Oh, I'm gonna start that business. Go back, you see people sitting on the same, you go back home where you're from, you see the same people sitting on the same tree 20 years later talking about what they were going to do or what we did back then. I ain't interested in what you did back then. I'm interested in what you're doing today to build your outcomes for tomorrow. Come on, man. We got to make a deliberate, conscious decision. I'm betting on me this year. I bet on my mom and them. I bet on my cousin and them. I bet on my boss and them. I bet on the company and them. Now it's time for me to bet on me. And man, once you start making that investment in you, I'm going to tell you right now, my boy, I love saying this, my boy Jesus took him 18 years to define himself and 3 years to do everything he was supposed to do. I'm telling you, it doesn't take long. Once you become conscious and deliberate about it's my time, it's my season, I gotta bet on me. Once you start making those decisions intentionally and deliberately, you'll see it doesn't take long at all. That once you will reach there, you will reach where you want to be, and honestly, you won't even know you're there because it happened because you fell in love so much with the process. That man, the process of becoming the motivational teacher to the masses, I'm loving it so much that what I attract along the way is not driving or fueling what I do. It's what's on the inside of me that's driving it. Because I understand that all of these things are development. Come on, Phaedron. Oh, come on, Vaniqua. All of these things are development. Like my son went on a basketball trip and they played some of the top teams in the nation. They went 0-3. He was feeling deflated. He was feeling kind of bad. They run through everything locally. They run through everything regionally. They went and played national, went 0-3. I said, man, why are you feeling bad? This was a great growth and development trip. We know now what you need to work on in order to improve because we played against better competition. Better competition reveals a little bit more something that I need to work on, what skill I need to work on and gain in order to get to the next level. Most of y'all only want to play in pools and puddles of people where they make you feel good about yourself because you're the big fish in a small pond. I'm telling you, it's time to jump ponds. If you're the smartest person in your circle, you got to find a new circle. You got to find a new circle. Yeah, everybody come to me with answers. Then you need to go find you another circle, because the people in my circle, I go to them. Like they'll tell you, like, I have no problem with saying I don't know. Matter of fact, Lady Queen was coaching me yesterday on something. It's nothing wrong, man. It's nothing wrong with saying, man, I gotta find a circle that fits where I'm going. Come on, man. Tears of joy leaping in my spirit. We bridging them. We gotta get to that next level. And some of y'all going to just say, I told you, if they ain't growing with you, they can't go with you. Man, don't you let me tell you how smooth. And I don't know why we're being so biblical tonight. My mama probably loving it. Let me tell you how bad Jesus was. Jesus was so bad that he had 82 people following him. He pushed out in the boat. He told you it was too many people following him, because he's saying all these people can't be for me. He was so cold, he pushed out from the boat and said, unless you can eat my body and drink my blood, you can't follow me. He said 70 people walked away at that moment. 70 people walked away. He asked the other 12, are y'all going to leave me too? They said, no, we with you. So I'm trying to think, why you think you're gonna have 100 people hitching their wagons to your ride? All you're gonna do is slow yourself up with trying to get a whole lot of people to go with you that ain't willing to go, that don't want to gain the knowledge, the information to go with you, and you trying to hook that hitch up to you, and now you're slowing, you running out of breath, you running out of energy, you're slowing up, you can't get your 1% because you trying to carry a bunch of folk that don't want to go. Hey man, I suggest, can I give you a clue? I suggest you do like Jesus did. Hey, unless you can eat this flesh and drink my blood. He was talking about the communion. Come on, I ain't crazy. I know exactly. You might be able to say, you might need to go to your people and say, hey, unless you can get to these motivational Mondays, unless you can start acting out these words that are coming out of his mouth, you might have to depart, because you can't hook your head. Ain't no free rides. It cost me everything. Lady Queen talked about it yesterday. And I got to get off this thing. Boy, I'm rolling right now. This is a good night to be on these Motivational Mondays. Lady Queen talked about it yesterday. Elisha wanted a double portion of Elijah's spirit. And then Elijah told Elisha, if you see me when I'm taken up, then you can get it. You know what he said? He said, basically, if you follow me and see some of these experiences that I have, now you've been through what I've went through, and you've attained these words that I've got. And man, Elisha walked away and did double of what Elijah did. But how many other people out there wanted Elisha's anointing, but could not have it because they were not willing to follow him? And you got a bunch of folks that want what you have, or that's trying to go where you want to go, but they ain't learning none. They ain't growing none. They only want you to pull them with you. You will never make it to the top as long as you got all that baggage. I love the fact that Delta now charges, I don't know how much they charge, $25, $35 for an extra bag. It's prophetic, because every time you carry this extra weight with you, it's costing you some hidden cost that you don't even know about. Every time you allow somebody to hitch their wagon to you and they ain't trying to grow and they ain't trying to go, you're losing time, you're losing steam, you're losing money, you're losing sleep, you're losing your 1% development, you're losing your own thinking, you're not investing in the places you should be. Why? Because you got a bunch of folk that don't want to go anyway, trying to keep you back. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to do like my boy. Boom, you better push off and say, man, unless you can walk this walk and talk this talk and build, baby, build. I'm not in the process of moving in the circle with people that are not building. I'm not in the process of moving with people that are about death and destruction and lack and don't know wholeness and sound, and not even trying to learn wholeness and sound, and there's nothing missing, nothing lacking. I can't roll with that circle of people right now. I'm moving in a different direction. How can two walk together unless they agree? I'm telling you, be ye equally yoked. So if they can't grow with you, they can't go with you. It's time for you to start betting on you. Yeah, I bet it on Ed McMahon. I bet it on Powerball. I bet on Las Vegas. I done bet on games, but now it's time for me to push all my chips to the center and throw all the risk on the great I am, awakening my I am, to know that winning is possible. I no longer choose to live my life in my comfort zone. I no longer choose to live my life in a sense of quiet desperation where everything in my life that comes has to be a miracle. I no longer choose to live my life where it's comfortable. I no longer choose to be the biggest fish in my pond. I no longer choose to be the smartest person in my circle. I'm no longer looking for sure wins. I'm no longer looking that I'm only taking bets where there's the possibility that I can lose. Why would we need faith if there wasn't possibilities? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. If I know it's a sure thing, I don't need faith. Oh my God, that's a bread-breaking moment right there. That's a bread-breaking moment. I can't walk in faith until I'm outside of my comfort zone. You got to be willing to take the risk in order to get the upside that you're looking for. You got to be willing to take it. And I'm challenging you to say, man, that I'm going to take this risk. If it does or if it doesn't work out, the great I am who awakens my I am and the lesson that I learned is more than worth it. I just broke breads. It's time for us to take moments and take time to bet on us. And the more of this 1% of improvement that we do over the course of time is going to give us the confidence to take bigger bets. Start where you are. Start where you are. Start where you are, seeing yourself worth the investment. Start where you are, seeing yourself worth the risk. Everything don't have to be a miracle. I can walk it out. Come on. No doubt. Start seeing yourself worth the investment. Start seeing yourself worth the risk. I'm telling you, man, like people that make it big, they've had setbacks. Challenges, they kept going. They ain't play it safe all day. They didn't play it safe all day. In order for us to get to the next level in life, we're going to have to incur some risk. It's just what it is. In order to have that, I got to bet on my Awaken I Am. Hey, man, I want to thank y'all for showing up tonight. Tonight, we had north of 20 eyes, the whole Motivational Monday. I got to say that's a first in a long time. I appreciate you all showing up in a big way. Like the people that chime in this conversation, believe you all make this what it is. Like people sit on here, they read your comments, they see what you're saying. And tonight I saw conversations going back and forth with the people on these Motivational Mondays. This is what this is meant to be. It's meant, get out the boat. Come on, Lisa. Say it loud and clear. This is meant to be a community of people waging war on mediocrity. Like this thing that we're doing is not going to be easy. That's why we need community. And I'm the first to say, I got to be better with connecting with the community. Now, I'm just going ahead to say, I got to be better. I got to show up better in a better way for myself as well. That's why I told y'all, man, like I'm a teacher/coach. I'm learning as I go. And most of this stuff checks me from this conversation. And I go back and listen to this 3 or 4 times, like Vanika, go back and listen to it 3 or 4 times and you hear 3 or 4 different thoughts. Or maybe you go back and listen to 15-minute segments that impacted you the most and you listen to that 15-minute segment 5 or 6 times and you drop the thought that you have at that moment on the segment. I'm telling you all, the more we gain this information, the more we start believing it and start walking in it. But it takes us, we're humans. It takes 6 or 7 times listening to the same information before it actually become a part of our life. And I'm challenging you, this is 117 episodes of Awaken Your I Am. We breaking this bread, man. And you all show up. You all really show up and you make the difference in this conversation. I want to thank you all for investing in yourself the first Monday in 2022. Let's keep this conversation going. Next Monday, I don't think we have a basketball game. So invite your top 5 people and say, meet me here. Because, buddy, I'm going to tell you, in a minute, I'm going to have to walk away from you if you're not willing to meet me here. Your sons, your daughters, your uncles, your cousin, your mama, your daddy, your sister-in-law, brother-in-law, anybody that you want to see prosperous, invite them to meet you here next Monday. And until next time, man, thank y'all for showing up. I am challenging you all to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a